So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can improve your controller mechanics instantly within Fortnite. And these tips will apply for ranked, for pubs, for creative free builds, for zone wars, anything you play. These tips will apply for you if you play on controller. Now, if you've never seen my channel before, you might be wondering why we should listen to you, and I'm gonna explain quickly. Okay, so if you look at YouTube, I'm one of the most, if not the most mechanical controller player out there. I used to have some of the best montages when it comes to like actually being good on controller. I know everything. I've mastered controller. I can play linear and exponential settings. For example, I switched to exponential settings about 4 days ago and I'm already looking this smooth and clean on them. So check these clips out. So that was me just 4 days with exponential settings, boys. And you guys know Expo is super stiff when you get on it and it's very hard to adapt to it, but I was able to do it in 4 days. So imagine the tips in this video are going to be extremely helpful for everybody watching. Now the tips are not going to be necessarily these, common tips. I'm not going to tell you guys to, use a practice map or stuff like that. The tips in this video are going to be fighting style tips and tips on improving your overall mechanics and fights. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need to improve on controller. We need fighting IQ and improvements on mechanics. So if you guys go ahead to enjoy today's video, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe with notifications turned on. I'm on the road to 200k subs, boys. So if this video helped you out, please subscribe with notifications turned on. It would mean a lot to me. And if you guys would like to support me even further, you can use my supported creator code YoSplashy in the Fortnite item shop. It will mean so much to me, boys. All you have to do is just type YoSplashy and then search, and then boom, you got it in. Now the first thing you want to do if you want to improve your controller mechanics is that you need to use this new map called Tryhard 1v1s. This is the only legitimate map in Fortnite Creative that has actually zero delay, boys. Now when you want to improve your mechanics, you need a zero delay map. So I, with a couple of other guys, have created this map right here within Creative 1.0, but then we brought it into UEFN, into coding, to code it into zero delay for y'all boys. Now before making this video, obviously I had to send this map out privately to a lot of creators, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of pro players, and every single person that has told me this is the most zero delay map they've ever played, and they're hitting clips instantly when playing the map. So when you guys load into the map, it will look exactly like this. You can change your skin. You've only got PG loot. So I'm waiting for the new guns to be added into the game from chapter 5. Then I'm going to be adding those, but this is strictly PG map. This is going to be a map where only the best players are going to play it and no trolls. So when you guys play Clicks map or Panvid or Agent Jeff, there's always people trolling. There's always people taking the tac shotgun and not actually doing the 1v1 properly. The aim of this map is that people are actually going to try hard. So when you're tryharding against somebody else is also tryharding, both of you guys are going to be improving your skill and IQ. Now as you guys see, this map is super colorful, but it's very plain and simple. There's nothing on the map. The memory is 0%, which means there's literally no delay on the map. Now when you guys look at the health, it is 200 HP with 1 extra shield. So what does this mean? So basically, let's say you go for a clip, you hit somebody for 150 HP and you keep going at it, you want to hit the clip again. When you eliminate them, they're still going to be shielded no matter what, because that extra shield is going to regenerate after 1 second, which means you're going to be able to hit clips at any time. You don't need minis, you don't need anything. This map is strictly for improvement, clips, and enjoying a zero delay map. Now another thing with this map is that when you guys hit high ground, when you guys hit the height limit, you will instantly spawn into the 1v1 to keep going. There you guys go. When you reach max height, you spawn instantly back here, you reset the builds, and then boom, you can go at it once again. Now you don't need a fancy 1v1 map with effects and things that will add up to the memory card and make it much delay. Like for example, Clicks map has a lot of snow, Polarized map has added water, metal, all these features that will give you an unnecessary amount of input data. But if you strictly want to improve and have a zero delay map, you need to play this map. Having a map that's zero delay will instantly improve your mechanics, because when you play with zero delay and you can edit and you can do exactly what you want with the timing that you want, you're gonna just improve automatically immediately. Now the next tip to improving your controller mechanics is that you need to utilize cones. In my opinion, the most important aspect of building is cones. Cones is the most important for controller players, and I'm going to explain why right now. So let's say you're free building, right? You're 1v1ing your friend, you guys are going at it, Adding cones in every movement that you do is gonna make it super difficult for the enemy to take high ground. It's gonna make it easier to hit clips, and it's just gonna make you more dominant in the fight, and it's gonna make your overall mechanics even better. For example, let's say you're in this position right here. Most of you guys will probably just go up or whatever the case might be, but let's say your opponent's right here. You should instead focus on coning just like this as practice, and then you can keep going up. You have high ground again here. You can look and keep coning. You know, cones is the best thing in the game. You can always have them, because if you're coning somebody, they have to get up from the cone here, and it's gonna make it super difficult for them and way easier for you. So as you guys can see in this clip right now, I'm utilizing cones in the clip. I'm making sure my opponent is struggling, and then I can go for simple clips that in editing and in montages look super clean. You can even be in a box, boys. You can be in here, your opponent is like exactly here, whatever he or she may be, right? You just go out instantly here, cones everywhere. You just throw cones, boom, you have height. It's so easy. I always utilize cones. It's how I'm so good at fighting, boys. And in Zone Wars, when I utilize cones, my opponents get so mad at me. But game is game, right? You just have to play and be better than them. So make sure whenever you free build, you always throw cones. And it's gonna make your overall experience playing the game easier. For example, let's say you're on high ground, your friend is exactly below you, and you know that he or she is gonna jump up here and try to, you know, take height, you know, jump up like right here, but you can stop them very easily. So let's say you're just here, you cannot utilize the cone once again. You can hear that they're gonna come out here or here, right? Let's say they're coming out here. You put a wall, you edit the wall like this, you put a cone, and you edit these two, and your opponent is gonna jump into this cone without seeing, and then they're gonna be here and they can't do anything, and you get a free elimination. That's how important cones are, boys. And I know it's a bit difficult, of course, but when you free build, just throw a few cones here and there. You're gonna see that you're gonna be able to clip and, you know, eliminate your opponents way quicker, and it makes clips look so good. That's the most important part. It makes clips look amazing with cones, so make sure you guys utilize them. Now the next tip in the video is gonna be more unique when fighting. So when you're fighting somebody, you need to stop being so predictable and so obvious, like that you're gonna do a certain move and then get yourself eliminated. So you need to be more unique in fighting. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of examples that you can practice, a couple of drills, and to see how you improve. So let's say you're in a 1v1 situation in ranked or Zone Wars or free building. You're in a box right here, and your opponent is right here. He's trying to take your wall just like this. You know, this is a very common like fighting way. Somebody's in, you know, the box and somebody's outside. Let's say you're the one in the box, right? The most logical way is either to edit like this, or maybe edit these three, or maybe, you know, edit these. I don't know what you guys prefer, but most of the time you're gonna get, you know, hit if you do any of these edits. There's literally no, even if you do these types of edits, you're still gonna get hit. You know, the game is so advanced now, you can't do any edit here without getting a trade. So what I would do in this situation, mostly if you're fast, you have to practice this move in creative, is that you instead edit right side out, like right here, and your opponent will barely see you when you go quick. So what you do is you cone, you put a wall, and you full box the opponent, and then here you have a freedom. You can either peek at them, shoot, reset, or you can go, you know, right here and do maybe an edit here. This is gonna make the opponent super nervous. They're not gonna know what to do. They might start to like pickaxe out, you know, because they're so like scared of getting hit, and that's gonna give you a free chance of getting a shot off on them. So this is how it would look if you did it fast. So make sure you guys practice that every day, and I promise it's going to be muscle memory. You're going to be able to do it every single time. Now another unique way of attacking your opponent, and something all of you guys are doing wrong, is that when you guys are ramping up like this, I know everybody can relate when you know, cone your opponent, you go like this, you full box them, and then you edit these and you get hit first, and then you just, you know, you get eliminated, because this is extremely predictable. Like if I'm getting full boxed, I can just, you know, I can just stay out with my pump and get my shot first, and then switch to the AR, and I win the fight. So I'm going to show you guys how you can prevent this from happening and win the fight. Now instead, what I would do here is I would cone just like this. I would put this right here, the wall, and instead of editing out here, I would go down here and get this wall out, because this is something that's way more unpredictable. And if the opponent is getting bossed and he sees you coming here, he's gonna get extremely nervous, because there's only one way out. He's gonna go here, and if you're quick enough, you can edit this, you can box him, and then you can, you know, get a shot off when he's like, you know, on the wall like this. when you think outside the box and you do these types of, you know, elimination strategies, you're going to improve your mechanics easier, because every time you do stuff that's, you know, common and predictable and you get eliminated, your drive to want to improve is actually going to decrease a lot. That's why you need to be more unique when you fight against people. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster just to show you guys how effective it really is. Now the next tip in the video, if you're on controller and if you play PS4 controller or PS5 controller, you need to utilize your D-pads. So your bottom D-pad, right D-pad, left and upper D-pad. So what are the D-pads? If you don't know what they are, basically, you know the arrows on the left side of the controller, so the ones that are next to the L3 on the left side, those are your D-pads. Now most of you guys play non-claw, and I know this. I know non-claw is the most popular out there because some people can't afford paddles and some people don't want to learn claw because claw is a risk of, you know, hurting your hand, and that's completely understandable. So you need to use and utilize your D-pads, and they're gonna make you improve immediately. So if you guys look at the bottom right of the screen, I use my pickaxe as my bottom D-pad, and a lot of people ask me how I use it and how I'm pressing on it, and a lot of people think I play claw because of that, but I don't. I play non-claw with paddles. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you do it. So right now I'm walking with my L3 right here. I'm just walking with the left stick, and then I'm pressing my D-pad at the same time. So all I'm doing is basically lifting my back thumb just a tiny bit to hit it, and then I can look as smooth. So I'm moving right, I'm moving left. You know, I can place a couple of walls. I can take this just like this. I can go back to my pickaxe, edit. I'll look smooth either way, and that's because the D-pad allows of it. For example, my sprint is my right D-pad, so I can sprint and I can utilize this bind right here. So if you're not using your down D-pad or your right D-pad for, you know, important things, like let's say you have emote or inventory or map there, I recommend you remove those and you put instead pickaxe and sprint, because they're super easy to access when you have them on D-pad. So look, I'm walking just like normally, and then I can just lift my thumb, press my pickaxe, go back to the pump. And this is how I can hit clips, look clean and free builds, and be smooth, non-claw, no paddles. It's so easy, boys. I'm telling you, like these things are so secretive, but it's so useful when you learn them. And I know a lot of you guys don't utilize your D-pads. It's very like unpopular out there to do it. But this is my down D-pad, and then my right D-pad is my sprint. So I'm smooth with it. I can activate it whenever. I can free build. I can do 90s and I can go back to it. You know, it's very easy, boys. So make sure you find some binds for your down D-pad and your right D-pad. For me, my down D-pad is pickaxe, my right D-pad is sprint. If you guys want to try those out, I recommend them. They can take like maybe a week or two to get used to, but this is going to be extremely important for you to improving. Trust me. Now let's talk about how you can find your playstyles. So within Fortnite, there's multiple playstyles. There's, you know, fast builder, smooth builder, fighter, there's, you know, IGL, there's so many different ways of playing the game. You can literally be a mechanical freak, or you can just be somebody with good aim, bad mechanics, whatever you want. You need to find your own playstyle. So for me, what I recommend and what I did is that me back in the day, I wanted to be like Fei Sui. That was my like inspiration in the game. I wanted to play like Fei Sui. So what did I do? I copied his sensitivity. I didn't copy his binds because he played claw and I did not want to play claw. So I copied his sensitivity and I started freebuilding like him, playing like him, and that's how I improved and became like Fei Sui. Like if most of you guys watched me, or if you go down to my channel, my old montages a year ago, I used to look very much like Fei Sui, and a lot of people would say I was Fei Sui 2.0 because of the way I was playing. So you just need to find the player on YouTube or Twitch that you want to play like. So let's say you want to play like Reed. Make sure you copy Reed's binds. Make sure you watch how he plays, amplify it into your own game, and that's how you're gonna be able to learn his style. It's very important that you know your end goal. Like my end goal was to be playing like Fei Sui, free building like Fei Sui. That's what I wanted to do, and that's how I became so mechanically good in game, because I was free building and I was just perfect at free building. I mastered Fei Sui's playstyle. And but if you guys ask me, there's a lot of controller players like Letchi, Reed, you know, there's G Money, there's a lot of people, there's even me, there's so many people you guys can, you know, take inspiration from and copy their sensitivity and binds to, you know, play like them. So make sure you guys have a end goal. You want to play like this guy, or you want to have this playstyle, and just make sure you guys do some research on the playstyle just so you improve it even more. Because let's say you're just trying to improve and just play the game normally, you don't know what your end goal is. Like, you know, if you want to have a Zone Wars playstyle, for example, you know those snappy like players that can build backwards and, you know, do crazy moves. Just watch a lot of those guys and how they move in videos on YouTube, and you're gonna improve like them because you have that end goal. Now, this is gonna be one of the most important tips of the video, and it's at the end. So if you're watching this right now, you can comment GOAT, so I know you're listening to this advice, because this is probably the most important advice in the video. So you need to know the difference between editing with the pickaxe or pump out versus editing with, you know, the map out like this and building like this and using the pump instead. So I'm gonna explain to you guys. So for example, when you do 90s, right, you know 90s, you always need to have your builds out most of the time, right? You can take the pump out here and there, but look, this is with the builds out. And then with me, when I edit down like this, I'm utilizing the pump. You need to know the difference between editing and building with the pump out and the pickaxe out versus editing and building with the map out. Because, and this is so important, boys, when you guys actually think about this, your building and editing sensitivity is completely different to your X and Y. So sometimes you're making edits with the pump out that's actually meant the builds out, vice versa, and that's gonna mess up your mechanics, and that's sometimes the reason you guys fail a lot of your edits, because you're editing with the wrong thing out in game. For example, when you do 90s, you know you're meant to have these builds out just like this, but when you're doing an edit like this, for example, right, you know this whole move is only with the builds out. You're not meant to have the pickaxe out doing this, you're meant to have the builds out. When I usually edit down, you know, when I make this edit down like this, I most of the time have my pickaxe and my pump out. So I'm used to having this sensitivity out because I always have my pump out when I edit like this down here. But when I make these types of edits like on the side and then I go down, I'm changing between builds. So I'm gonna show you guys right here. So let's say I'm editing these two just like this, right? I'm utilizing my map. And then I edit this wall like this, and then I put these. I'm always using my map because I know most of the time when I'm making these types of edits, I always have my map out. But then when I come here and I'm trying to edit down, I'm utilizing my pump. Just like this. And then when I come here, it depends on what I'm used to, right? So just remember and get used to one specific way of editing with the pump or the map and amplify that to your builds. Like for example, what you should not do. Let's say with me, I'm gonna do vice versa here, right? I'm not used to editing with the pump out like this, so this will be wrong for me. As you guys can see, I'm already messing up. I'm going like this, and here I'm editing with the map out. So my movement here looks so bad compared to my movement there because I'm not editing with what I'm supposed to edit with. So let me show you guys one more time. I'm doing 90s, I'm meant to have my map out, perfect, right? I'm editing just like this, I'm meant to edit like this, perfect. Let's say I'm trying to do this with my pump. See, I'm messing up. Let me try again with the pump. See, it doesn't make sense. You can't do it with the pump. You have to learn when you should use the pump and pickaxe to edit and when you should use the map to edit. It's very, very important because the sensitivities are so different, boys. For example, if I'm doing this edit right here, I know this edit is either pump or pickaxe. I should never use my map and edit like this because the movement will be way different because I'm not used to it. So you need to remember, boys, when you should use what to edit. So for example, when you edit down, you use the pump. When you edit up and build up, for me, I most of the time use, you know, my map. So just like this, map, pump and map, pump. So yeah, just, I know it's very difficult to understand, but when you think about it, watch this part one more time, boys. I recommend you guys watching this part again, just so it sticks to your head and so you guys understand it a lot more. So I'll show you guys one last time, right? You do a 90 with the builds out. I usually do these with the builds, and then when I come here and I'm editing down, I use the pump. And then maybe I'm doing this, I'm using the, you know, my builds. I edit like this. Here I use the pump because I'm used to using the pump. I edit down, I box with the pickaxe pump out, and then as you guys can see, I know when I want to use my, you know, pump and when I want to use my builds out. Like this. When you can learn this, you're gonna become so good at the game. It's actually unreal. I'm telling you guys right now, if you can learn this part of the video, you're gonna become one of the best controller players out there because you know the difference between editing with the pump and editing with the builds out. It's so important. Just have this in the back of the head, right? The pump and like the X and Y sensitivity is completely different to the builds and edit mode sensitivity. Those sensitivities are different, right? So just remember that and then you're gonna learn more. Here's a better representation. I have the pump, and look when I'm turning, right? It's this type of speed. When I take the map out, look, I'm way faster. The speed is so much faster, boys. You see, boom, and then I go slower. I go faster, slower, faster, slower. You need to master when to use each edit, have the pump out or the map out, and you will become way better. Make sure you guys are using my map. You can find new opponents. If the map becomes popular, you can, you know, go against other people that want to try hard in game and also improve. So make sure you guys use this map. The code is on the screen. It's completely zero delay. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far into the video by commenting GOAT with 2 T's. Alright, if you comment GOAT with 2 T's, you made it this far, and the map code will be on the screen, in the description, and on the pinned comments. And yeah, boys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.